of the G20 summit in New Delhi. He was felicitated by the cadre and it was a grand celebration of the G20 success. Prime Minister arriving to great number of cheers and hoots from the Karyakartas who had assembled at the headquarters, and then he was greeted by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and of course BJP National President JP Nadda, along with a host of other leaders and functionaries of the BJP. The PM, we are given to understand, is still at the BJP headquarters. Is there going to be a meeting and a manthan of the way forward? What next? We'll have to wait and watch, but he is not addressing the gathering or speaking to them at the moment. I think the focus will be on what's going to happen in the coming weekend, where they're going to launch the entire Vishwakarma Yojana on his birthday when he completes 73. And of course, the special session of Parliament, the business ahead in the coming week. So exciting and busy times ahead. But let's quickly move on, because earlier in the day, the Cabinet, along with giving a go-ahead for the e-courts budget for nearly 7,200 crores, has also given an additional thumbs up of 1,650 crore for the Ujjwala scheme that gets a big boost. And this is for new, fresh LPG connections. 75 lakh new connections will be given out very, very soon. Then, let's get to the next picture of the day, ladies and gentlemen. These are pictures. 50 feet excavation in Ayodhya and remains of an ancient temple have been found, corroborating the claims made by crores of bhakts for over 500 years, saying that there was a temple of Ram Lalla there and it was raised and a structure was built above it. And they said this is what Champat Rai, the president of the Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Trust, has very clearly put, and multiple pictures where statues, pillars, stones, carvings and have been found. And the excavation was done by the ASI team, or the Archaeological Survey of India, back in 2002. In another good news, and this is in terms of our Vikas and also our Samrik Shakti or defense capability, the C-295 aircraft is now officially part of the arsenal. The first of the many aircraft has now been delivered by Spain. The deal was signed about 2 years ago. 21,000 crore plus deal, the capacity of 5 to 10 tons. It can carry around 70 soldiers, and also quick para-dropping of troops is possible. Indigenous electronic warfare suite has been installed. Bulk of the aircrafts will be assembled and made in India from 2025 onwards in Vadodara and Gujarat by Tata. But this is Airbus's delivery. The second aircraft should be there sometime in 2024. But ladies and gentlemen, let's now shift focus to the main debate, the first debate, and it is around Sanatan Dharma. Is it a diversionary tactic? And has the DMK been told by the larger alliance of the INDIA to tone it down and focus on the issues which the larger grouping wants to focus on for 2024?
धर्म को इस प्रकार की बीमारियों से आप कंपेयर करते हैं? ये लोग जो इस माटी के नहीं हो पाए, जिस मिट्टी में कंकड़ संकर जहां बसता है, वो इस देश के गरीब के क्या हो पाए?
The larger question is, even as there was instruction clearly to the BJP and the top brass that go after those who attack Sanatan Dharma, the question was, why is the DMK taking such a strong position and suddenly so? And is it going to be palatable for the entire alliance, that is the Indian National Developmental and Inclusive Alliance that's been formed, this committee of nearly 26 parties? Because a lot of them were very, very cagey about coming in full support. In fact, the JDU, a lot of voices within the Congress party, barring Priyank Kharge and G. Parameshwara, and a lot of other parties, including the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, RJD and the others, were giving very broad-brushed defenses to the DMK. And some of them, like KC Tyagi, openly said, we don't agree, they have a different position. But why would they do it? Now, has there been an indication to Udayanidhi's father, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru M.K. Stalin, from the larger grouping, listen, tone this down, this is not where we want to go for 2024. if you're part of the INDIA. So this is what it is. While the Prime Minister remains silent on everyday issues impacting the common man, his cabinet focuses on Sanatan Dharma by flooding false narratives and fueling it with the support from a few media outlets. I urge our DMK leaders and cadre not to react to such divergent tactics and continue posing questions to the BJP on Manipur violence, Adani Hindenburg, a whopping 7.5 lakh crore rupees flagged in CAG report and other pressing issues, along with highlighting 9-year failures of the BJP. We will keep posing questions and so will INDIA. This is Stalin's, Chief Minister Stalin's post today. Just the other day, he had backed in the letter that was written to the Prime Minister or in response to the Prime Minister's instructions that sources had quoted, he had backed his son Udayanidhi. Today saying it's the BJP that's harping on Sanatan Dharma and not DMK. Now, Tamil Nadu BJP President K. Annadurai has responded and he said, Stalin, to begin with, while we still wait for your answers on BGR energy scam, nutrition kit scam, transformer supply scam, CMRL scam, ETL infra scam, transport scam, Nobel Steel scam, TNMSC scam, HRNC scam and many more. 11 of your sitting ministers have corruption cases pending on them. One of your ministers without portfolios in prison for cash for job scam. The attack on Hindu Dharma by your son and your party men is a diversion to the above scams, and we kindly request you to stop embarrassing yourself misquoting the CNAG report just by relying on a piece of paper in your hand. So this is what is the response that's come from Annadurai. So the larger question, ladies and gentlemen, then is this a diversionary tactic? Now, soon after that, Vanati Srinivasan of the BJP again, she's also tweeted what's happening on ground. While Stalin says tone it down, Vanati Srinivasan says, and I'm just going to come here, Vanati Srinivasan says, in Tamil Nadu, Government Arts College Thiruvarur is requesting the college students to participate and share their views on opposing Sanatan on the occasion of CM Annadurai's birth anniversary. And she's asking, is the DMK government is poisoning the minds of the students? Is it not against the basic values and rights enshrined in our constitution? She has written this letter in Tamil and she's quoting, put this letter in Tamil and she's saying this is what is being asked. This is what is being asked of students in college in Thiruvarur. Government Arts College, Tamil Nadu Government Arts College is asking people to write an essay on opposing Sanatan, share their views. Now, let's get into it. Diversionary tactic against the constitution, basic tenets enshrined, and is this not bigoted? How is this secular? Many questions arise. But the larger question is this a diversionary tactic? Let's go across to our guests. Vinod P. Selvam, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. We also have Professor Chandan Gowda, who is the Ramakrishna Hegde Chair, Professor ISEC, and Sumansi Raman joining us, political affairs analyst. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Namaste and Jai Hind. Vinod P. Selvam, first question to you. The BJP is alleging it's a diversionary tactic away from the corruption charges.
See, today the DMK and its supremo, they are in absolute frustration, majorly because of the failures of their own government, and now they have absolutely no control over what's happening in the state. Even today, if you have noticed, the Enforcement Directorate is on a spree raiding several people associated with DMK, majorly into sand quarrying. And so much incriminating evidences and documents are being recovered from their ministers and from their henchmen on almost an everyday basis. Now, the Supremo of DMK trying to call anyone corrupt is the biggest joke of the year. His father, the previous CM of Tamil Nadu, was given the famous title Father of Corruption. So, coming from this status and seeing all the problems happening in Tamil Nadu, to divert people from that, they harped on to the issue of opposing Sanatana Dharma. Unfortunately for them, it has backfired so much across the country, especially amongst their own alliance parties, their partners. Everyone has come out and hit out against the DMK. Today, if you had noticed, the spokesperson, an MP from the Aam Aadmi Party, has called Udayanidhi Stalin a small leader. He has mentioned saying we don't take into consideration comments made by small leaders of parties. But ironically, Udayanidhi Stalin seems to be the prince of DMK, And that's how he's being treated by his party men. All the seniors have to go fall on his feet and pay his respect to them. And that's the kind of scenario which we have in the state today.
Whether some senior members or larger other parties of the INDIA take them seriously or not, the BJP certainly is taking him very, very seriously. And you have gone across the country, you've gone
we are taking him seriously.
against.
We are taking him seriously because of the comments he has made. We are going to stand for the Sanatana Dharma. These are the basic principle on which this country is built.
See,
and BJP is never going to let any political organization try to shake the base of this country.
The argument that you are saying is that they have so many corruption charges, and because that's being raked up, this is a diversionary tactic to try and just stir up emotions. Professor Chandan Gowda, where do you stand?
The thing of, I would not see it as a diversionary tactic because, I mean, it's such an easy thing to say. At least in this case, both of them seem to be talking about things that appear to be diversionary. If you look at Stalin's comments, he's saying you're diverting us from Manipur violence, the CAG scam. These people are saying you're diverting us from the scams that, afflict you. So, in my view, I think we should treat the issue at hand with the seriousness it deserves and not give in to this claims and counterclaims of what is diversionary or not. So, what did we discuss tonight, Anderson?
No, what is diversionary or not? The point is suddenly all these scams are being raised and suddenly you have Udaynidhi, Stalin, Ponmudi, everybody coming after Sanatan Dharma. All these days they didn't have a problem even if they did. Second point, Professor Chandan Gowda, is then if they really stand by what they are saying, then how are they secular? Are they not bigoted? Are they not fascist? Are they not Hindu-phobic? And if that is the case, should they continue to occupy that chair? Is it not grossly violation of the principles enshrined in our constitution?
No, in fact, each of your questions is a different question. I'll try to remember them. I don't think it's fascist straight away to say there is a problem with Sanatan Dharma because it's actually saying it can be corrected, reformed.
Yeah, but they didn't say it's a problem. Now, please, he said eradicate it. One of them said eradicate it. Second one said it's like AIDS. A third one said it's a menace. And a fourth one said Sanatan Dharma and Hinduism are not something that we need to fight against. We need to eradicate. So all of them have said finish it off. They have not said end the discrimination within, reform it, correct it. That's not what they have said.
Yes, you're right. I mean, there is hyperbole there. I mean, there's exaggeration. It depends on whether you want to listen to it literally or whether you want to see it's a manner of speaking that's evolved over the years in Tamil Nadu. It's a very Tamil Nadu event. Now, I'm not trying to evade the issue. I wouldn't be caught saying something like that. But if someone wants to speak like that to make a point, I'm willing to listen.
Listen, so if somebody else were to say the same of some of the Abrahamic faiths, will you have the same tolerance? Will you have the same standards?
It depends on who.
Why should it depend on who?
Because these people are speaking as insiders.
No, how are they insiders? Please. Professor Chandan, let's stick to facts. At least two of the three have announced themselves to be who have exited Sanatan Pratha and embraced an Abrahamic faith. 2 out of the 3 at least. Another 2 of them have also very clearly in a way crypto in their approach. These are people who have left Sanatan Pratha. They are not from within.
This is news to me.
One of them is a baptized Christian, sir. The other one has openly professed embracing Christianity. A third one has also said that, they actually have moved away. So I'm asking you, if they have done so, then is that not a bigoted statement? Secondly, sir, they are not saying we want to clean up Sanatan Pratha. They are saying we want to eradicate it. So if somebody were to say oppose Islam, oppose Christianity, oppose any other faith, then that person is a hate monger, that person is bigoted, that person is a fascist, that person is a phobic. But if somebody says eradicate Sanatan Dharma, then you should listen to their point of view. It's hyperbole.
One thing is very clear. We don't listen to the voices of reform within other religions. I mean, right now we only hear of fundamentalists within Christianity or Islam. Do we know the moderate voices within? Do we know the liberal voices within? They do exist. Who are critical of, how certain practices ought not to continue. The Bharatiya Muslim, the women's organization had been asking to end triple talaq for a long time before it was actually banned. Anyway, I have a feeling there are voices of self-criticism are there everywhere. And you are also right to ask, can only insiders speak? Can't outsiders make criticism? They can, but there are definitely constraints on how
No,
much
but Prof, see, you're making a very rational and a sane argument. Nobody is saying don't criticize what's wrong, be it moderates in any faith. And we need to end discrimination. We are all on board with that. But what the DMK leaders are saying, Professor Chandan Gowda, you know very well, is saying that I have a problem with a particular way of life and I want to totally do away with it. And they're making no bones about it. What's surprising, Sumanshi Raman, as I bring you in, is that no courts have taken suo motu cognizance, no chief justices have taken umbrage, nobody is spewing fire, and nobody is looking at somebody with venom giving them no passage of justice. So why these double standards, sir? And secondly, do you agree or disagree that this is a diversionary tactic to stir up emotions, to divert attention?
This is pure and simple shadow boxing between both the sides. As far as DMK is concerned, they have been saying the same thing only for the last 40-50 years. So this is not the first time that they have said this. Nobody had a problem with it over all these years. If the BJP had a big problem with it, they never articulated it in quite this fashion. So clearly the decision was taken to take this statement, which and they have said far worse. So I can show you enough and more videos where the gods have been ridiculed, where Hindu traditions have been ridiculed, mantras have been called as obscene and vulgar and so on. I can show you a lot of that. So this is something they've been saying for 50 years. So the BJP suddenly taking it up and making it a massive issue in state after state, every major leader of the party, including the Prime Minister, speaking on it, is not accidental. Let's be very clear. It's not that suddenly the BJP woke up to the fact, oh my God, DMK is saying this. DMK has been saying the same thing for 50 years.
And Hindus in Tamil Nadu have been voting for it, voting it into power also.
See, that is the point. The DMK today doesn't have anything to lose in Tamil Nadu by saying what they are saying. Because this consolidates the Dravida fringe vote, which goes to the DMK. It consolidates to some extent the minority vote, which is overwhelmingly with the DMK. So I think they don't have anything to lose. BJP also doesn't have anything to lose because they're given a God-given opportunity to take this across the country. The only one who's losing out here is the alliance partners, most notably the Congress. And the Congress does not even realize that this could be an issue where they could lose out in the Hindi belt. So that is why you have got these wishy-washy statements coming from different Congress leaders.
So you are saying abusing Hinduism, abusing Sanatan Dharma makes no difference to anybody south of the Vindhyas. They will still vote for whoever they want to vote for. And it does not deserve the scrutiny of the courts. It should not prick the conscience of the chief justices of courts who took suo motu cognizance and umbrage and had urgent sittings on other issues. But in this case, there's not even a single murmur.
I did not say south of the Vindhyas. In Tamil Nadu, this has been par for the course for the last 50 years. And it is a tragedy that this has not been highlighted to the rest of the country earlier. The fact that this has been going on for so long and people are free to abuse the Hindu faith in Tamil Nadu. Even people in positions of power and influence can say whatever they like. It has been the same way. I mean,
no, but
people
just because
outside,
it's been the same way doesn't make it right.
It is not right. It has never been right. When has it been right? Nobody can justify it. What Udayanidhi said is wrong. I don't think anybody can justify it. My point is, the fact that this is made an all India issue now has a reason. And that is that the elections are coming nearby. And therefore, the BJP wants to seize on this. And the target is not the DMK. The target is the Congress. And that is why the Congress has not
let
been
Vinod
smart
Selvam
enough
answer
to
that.
refute
Yes, Vinod
and
Selvam.
distance themselves from this.
Convenient political rhetoric once again.
I understand that.
Once again, to give you traction and perhaps some purchase in Tamil Nadu, where the BJP has failed to make any impact over all these years, reduced to 5 seats all along. That's one argument. Second is that it doesn't matter. It's been going on for 60 years. That's why even the courts don't bother. Nobody else bothers. And Tamil Nadu continues to vote for these parties only, who continue to abuse. And large number of Tamil voter base still is Hindu or Sanatan. Vinod.
It is rather unfortunate that the DMK has been able to motormouth themselves for all these years. But the BJP has always been opposing them on issues. See, why this is a clear example of diversionary politics is if you have noticed a few days back when the raids on the ministers of DMK on corruption charges were happening, they were very vehemently trying to pull up the issue of Hindi. So Hindi and Sanatan Dharma, these two are the trump cards of DMK which they keep playing whenever they are in deep trouble. So today, when they are playing the Sanatan Dharma card, it means they are in deep trouble. And also, it's very important to notice that DMK always uses its third level leaders, third category leaders, or people who are not too prominent. No one more than A. Raja comes out and speaks so vulgarly on stage about Sanatana Dharma. But today, using their prince of the party, they're using Udayani's talent to voice out. It's basically because of the frustration which has been built in the DMK. And today, this issue has been amplified thanks to the media. Sorry?
No.
Thanks to the media, thanks to social media. The speeches of the DMK ministers, speeches of the DMK ministers, DMK leaders are reaching a larger population. And we feel we are duty bound to defend our faith, our culture, our beliefs. And that is what we are doing. This is more than politics. Everything does not fall in the armpit of politics. This is way more than politics. This is the basis of the country, and that is the reason why BJP has taken this up so vehemently. It is unfortunate that the Congress still wants to keep DMK as a part of the alliance just to win a few seats in Tamil Nadu. But let me tell you, the people of Tamil Nadu are watching. We have the highest number of temples in the country are in Tamil Nadu, and it was rather unfortunate that the HRNC minister, who is supposed to safeguard and ensure that the temples are being well kept and maintained, was on this stage where they spoke and said,
but the reality, sir, is those who are supposed to protect the articles of faith in the constitution, those who are supposed to protect the basic rights and the integrity of all in a secular establishment that is India, those courts have said nothing. Even in Tamil Nadu, the high courts have said they have not taken suo motu cognizance of these aspects. Nobody has gone knocking down the doors of the court saying that take immediate action, ask him to retract, or nobody slapped a defamation suit and takes urgent legal proceedings. Top courts of our country are also silent on this. So, reality. So that means is it politically convenient for you that this goes on for a while? You want it to stew. Sumant Raman, yeah.
No. See, this Anand, Mr. Annadurai put out a tweet with some 10 charges against DMK and all that. Why have they not taken the DMK government to court? They have not. When the DMK was in the opposition on more than half a dozen issues against AIA DMK ministers, including the then Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy, they took them to court. Now, the BJP makes noises, puts out all these allegations. Then Mr. Annadurai releases DMK files 1, DMK files 2. Nothing is done to follow these things through. Even now, people of Tamil Nadu do not for a moment, in my opinion, think that Senthil Balaji or any of the other DMK ministers are all paragons of virtue and totally honest. But their feeling clearly is that whatever they are facing now from the agencies is more for some political purpose of some bargain being struck, rather than to see that the cause of justice is actually going to be served.
Sir,
and there is enough and more evidence of that in the past with so many leaders who then switched over to the BJP, where all the cases are now lying.
My point is, sir, okay, if you can say it is political witch hunting, but if you hunt and you find a loot, then that means there has been a loot. So you have to accept.
You have to follow it up.
Then you have to follow it up. I agree. One has to follow it up. Professor Chandan Gowda, Stalin, final word, Stalin's tweet today. Chief Minister Stalin's tweet today and post today telling the DMK to refrain. They're not even coming on the debates and say stop these comments and focus on the larger issues which the alliance wants to do. Is that a message that's come? Enough of this, stop this.
I can't second guess, but it's very clear that the alliance partners have not really robustly endorsed the statements the Chief Minister and his son have made. So that's pretty clear. Please remember, Anand, why would anyone want to enter the Lok Sabha election campaign with a claim of that kind when a big chunk of the country are practicing Hindus. So it's silly to expect the alliance partners to support them. In fact, they would not want it to carry on. In fact, it's almost 2 weeks since the event happened in the small writers' conference. It's an issue on national media. I'm sure Tamil Nadu has moved on. I really don't know. I think my co-panelist Sumant is right that this particular statement has come in handy.
No, but I'm a little surprised here that the whole country, the opposition, the courts have not moved on from Nupur Sharma. But within 2 weeks of them, these 4, 5, 6, 7 leaders brazenly abusing and calling for eradication of Sanatan Dharma, you believe the state and everybody should move on. Isn't this a very, very hypocritical situation, sir? Or a position taken on two entities, and when it comes to about two different disciplines of life or way of life or religions, and that too in our country, speaks volumes about how we are, who we are and how we think, sir, and how we behave. Speaks volumes. I have to wind up. On that note, sir. I've got a quick update coming through. Prime Minister Narendra Modi accorded a grand welcome at the BJP national headquarters. But now we've got pictures coming through of the PM chairing the CEC, that's the Central Election Committee meet, and that's where they are. The PM is chairing this meet. Some serious conversations are being had, and there is a felicitation once again by the National President JP Nadda. But the PM, beyond the basic aspects of greeting and basic greetings that are being given to him, from beyond that, the cordialities, he's going to move forward, and there are some hard words that are going to be shared. And we are given to understand that the PM does not want the party to lose its focus, lose traction and get swayed. The nation is on a high on the G20 success, but electoral aspects, electoral challenges remain. The elections in the states, if they go as per time and as per schedule, are in December, and there is a lot that needs to be done, and that's where it looks like the Prime Minister's focus is going to be. Those are visuals coming in from inside of the meeting, and as the media makes their way out, we will also pull out of this story and move to the next story here on The Right Stand. More than 2 months after releasing photos of 45 people who were allegedly involved in the violence at the Indian High Commission in London during a protest on the 19th of March, the National Investigation Agency has identified 15 of them. Our group editor security Manoj Gupta getting us these details, where 15K goons have been identified, and the NIA is preparing to send their details to the Immigration Department to issue lookout circulars against them. So let's break this down further. So what was the provocation? The provocation was that the Indian High Commission was attacked. The action is that the NIA has identified 15K goons via CCTV footage. The provocation was on the 20th of March, where the Indian Embassy was openly vandalized on the streets of London in broad daylight. Lookout circulars are now being arranged after the people are being identified. The provocation was that the Indian flag atop the London Embassy, there was an attempt to rip it off. The NIA is writing to the UK authorities for action to be taken. 2nd of July, San Francisco, the consulate was attacked, and here again, persons have been identified. The NIA has identified 4 Khalistan supporters and agents who were involved there. The High Commission, Ottawa was attacked, and the NIA team will be visiting Canada to probe the attack. The High Commissioner, Indian High Commissioner to Canada, Sanjay Kumar Verma, confirmed that the investigation was on and there should be some progress on this incident very, very soon. He accepted, and that he was the one who bore the brunt of all of what happened in Ottawa. Now, the next question, the question now is, will the Friends help in the crackdown? That's the big question. Those who have come out and said India is a friend and we will work together, will they help in the crackdown? Sushant Sareen, Strategic Affairs expert and Senior Fellow ORF is with us, and Ambassador Ashok Sajanhar also with us. Namaste and Jai Hind. We had Sanjay Kumar Verma. We'll try and play out a portion of that if possible in the course of the conversation. He spoke with us last evening. It was an exclusive conversation, and Ambassador Verma was very, very clear, Ambassador Sajanhar, that yes, there have been threats. This was not the first time. He actually called it a business and he called them K-goons. And 3, he confirmed that there is an investigation and there should be some action taken. He also said that there will be some amount of cooperation that's coming from the Canadian authorities. But do you believe that more needs to be done by the UK, by Canada, and by the US?
No, absolutely. I think definitely much more needs to be done. We've seen, as far as the United Kingdom is concerned, when the British Prime Minister was here, Rishi Sunak, he recognized the problem, he recognized the issue, he recognized the threat, and he very categorically stated that this will not be allowed to go on from the British soil. That action would be taken against all those who are trying to perpetrate violence, those who are issuing threats, or those who have engaged in such heinous activities and crimes. And I think similarly we would get cooperation and support from the authorities, the local authorities in the United States. Now we have seen, as far as Canada is concerned, the attitude of the Canadian Prime Minister when he was here, although he was literally read the Riot Act by the Prime Minister when he had a pull-aside meeting with him, but he appeared to be quite unabashed, and he tried to confuse matters by saying that, you know, this is freedom of speech, freedom to protest, and we will always protect. And you should not label the activities of some individuals as, tarnishing the whole community or the whole country. I don't think that is anyone's idea, not to stop freedom of speech, freedom to peacefully protest or tarnish the whole community or the whole country. But basically those individuals who are issuing threats that they have issued to our High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar Verma and all the others, and those who have engaged in violent activities, they need to be identified. I'm glad that NIA has identified 15 K goons in UK, and that they'll be traveling to Canada also to identify. So I think the most stringent and strictest action should be taken against perpetrators of these crimes.
Let's quickly, I think the team has been able to pull out a short excerpt of what Ambassador Verma said before I bring in Sushantji. Let's quickly listen into that. There is concern that सब कुछ बता दिया उनको, everything has been conveyed to them. They know who they are, what they are doing, why we want them to be curbed, but they don't do anything about it.
I'll just give you two examples in the recent past, rather three examples. One was a so-called protest in front of our consulate in Toronto, and we saw more than equal in number people from the Indian community condemning them, and at the same time there was security and police forces in the middle of the two of them, and a couple of Khalistani elements were caught on the spot and handcuffed. So that was a very frustrating thing for the pro-Khalistani protesters who had never seen this thing happening in the past. Now let's go to number two. They were trying to run a so-called referendum in Greater Toronto area, and they were looking for a government-provided space, which, by the way, every Canadian citizen is allowed to seek, and they were disallowed. They had to go to a particular place of worship, and so that was second incident. Third incident was on the 10th of September. They wanted to do it in a school. The school denied the permission. So therefore, you can see that the awareness in the general Canadian mass is on an increase.
So he listed out the three instances where he believes the Canadian authorities are helping. But was that also after there was some reaction, after it was highlighted, Sushantji? Are you convinced, or would you like to see more being done?
No, I don't think this is enough. I think the High Commissioner is a good diplomat, and he's trying to, but clearly this is not enough, because the actions of these goons and this mafia, these thugs, is much more dangerous than what is being let out to be. And in fact, there have been instances when officials of the Indian High Commission have come close to being assaulted. They have vandalized properties of the Indian High Commission. They have also attacked other people of Indian origin, and they have, of course, defiled Hindu temples. Now, none of this comes under the rubric of right to free speech, as the Canadian Prime Minister very disingenuously and very Pakistan-like seemed to suggest. Now, the Pakistanis have always used this excuse, right to self-determination. Even these third-rate ambassadors, which they send out here, friends of some of our journalists, Ashraf Jahangir Qazi and all these other lowlifes who come out here, have actually defended jihad against India, right? And they've said that the UN allows it. Now, this is the kind of double speak which Trudeau is doing. When he says that we cannot stop freedom of speech. Nobody is asking you to stop freedom of speech. What we are asking you to do is stop hate speech. And what the Khalistanis mouth is pure and simple hate speech. They are inciting violence, not just in Canada, but also in India. I think, but Anand, it is extremely important, and it is critical that while we hold the feet of the Canadian government to fire, and we blast them for non-action, I think we have to hold our own government to feet to fire. What are we doing about this whole goddamn PIO cards? Because the Khalistanis themselves say that their people have been coming into India, carrying out assassinations and going back. How are we allowing these people to come? Why can't you cancel all these PIO cards and then vet them and have the same kind of questionnaire which the Canadians hold for our security force officials? Have a similar kind of a questionnaire for all these fellows to ask them about their antecedents, ask them about their linkages with the Khalistanis, ask them which Gurdwara they go to, ask them what is heard in that Gurdwara, what is said out there, ask them everything, ask them the most uncomfortable questions. Let's see what happens after that. Okay, so we should do that, and along with it, it's not enough to crack down on these lowlifes who have escaped out there, and most of them are thugs, they're criminals, they're murderers, they're drug smugglers, they're human traffickers, all of them, right? But we also need to
उनको यहाँ से जाने भी तो दिया गया ना, सुशांत जी. One of the problems is a lot of them have been allowed to go from here, and some of them have been there for a few years or maybe decades. But the recent lot which is going there is also being allowed to emigrate from here or leave from here. Now,
they can be. No, it's good that they are allowed to emigrate from here. It's good
but
that
don't
they are
let them
allowed
come back, is what you're saying. Make their coming back difficult.
Anand, if they carry out these kind of actions against India outside Indian soil, there they will have hell to pay in India. For example, all of them have properties or houses or something or the other.
Right.
Just impound it, sell it off, and make sure that they have their
So
basically they are wiped out from this soil.
This freezing of their properties has already begun. Gentlemen, I have to cut short this conversation. We've just got big news coming through from Pakistan. And this is again our group editor security Manoj Gupta getting us these details. So, decline in terror incidents, stone pelting in Jammu and Kashmir. Hizbul sources revealed to News 18 that Pakistan ISI is upset with Syed Salahuddin and that he has failed to revive terror activities in Jammu and Kashmir post the abrogation of Article 370. One of the explanations is that Salahuddin refused to participate with the Pakistani army, beg your pardon, in drug trade or in narcotics. Now, here are the reasons why the Pak ISI is upset with Syed Salahuddin. First reason, not delivering favourable results in Jammu and Kashmir. Second reason, reason number 2, allegedly refused to participate in the drug trade. Thirdly, Hizbul unable to revive terror activities in the valley. And fourth, Syed Salahuddin reportedly fearing death threats from within ISI itself. 5, Salahuddin has been asked to hand over charge to an Amar Khan. And final support to Hizbul and financial support to Hizbul and the Hizbul Khanna office has been stopped. In fact, the Hizbul Khanna office is up for sale. We are given to understand Salahuddin seeking support from POK leader Haider. That's also not come through. Mushal Malik's appointment seen as a message to Salahuddin कि भाई आपकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपसे आगे निकल रहे हैं. Intel sources decoding the government action plan, and they are saying that the government's focus is on restoring statehood of Jammu and Kashmir. The government will not tolerate foreign intervention. They won't hold talks with a failed state on Jammu and Kashmir. The possibility that the Hizbul chief could be eliminated is very, very high. So all Hizbul's base in Pakistan going Sayyid Salahuddin, they are looking past him. That's what we are given to understand. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, the vaccine war trailer has dropped. I'm sure you would have seen it. Those who are behind this movie, the story, they take the right stand. Vivek Agnihotri and Pallavi Joshi when we come back. Stay with us.
From there, would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summons, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India Front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India Front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP.
Welcome back. The vaccine war trailer has dropped and I'm sure you would have had a peek about it. Let's go across to the maker of the film, somebody who's thought it up, researched it and worked very, very hard. It's the husband-wife duo who played director, scriptwriter, producer amongst themselves. Vivek Agnihotri ji, namaste. And please, my greetings to Pallavi ji also. I was hoping she could join us, but I'm sure you're in the middle of a lot of things. Let me first ask you, the story seems very different from the Kashmir files, but it's quite intense. And this time your approach is a little different in the trailer.
Oh yeah, this definitely is a different universe. First, I would like to apologize on behalf of Pallavi. We are in different cities. I've just landed somewhere. You know, we are just two people industry. We do everything on our own. Yeah, so it's Anand, it's a very, very different universe. Absolutely different universe. Kashmir brought the sad news, the painful news about modern India, today's India. And this film brings a great news about the new India, the modern India. It also tells you, which a lot of people don't recognize, that this entire self-reliance thing which we are experimenting with, how it has taken us on the world stage, how these efforts have made India a major player.
The elements were challenging Sanatan Pratha and Sanatan Dharma.
So see, this was my personal thing. See, the whole world talks. The problem is the modern colonized minds have created a narrative that India had no connection with science, and whatever science we know, it's because of Pandit Nehru. And after Pandit Nehru, there has been no science in this country. And I come from a family of, my father was a Vedic scholar and a professor of that. So I have seen the analysis of Vedas very closely. So I know a thing or two about that. And I studied so much of philosophy and science and the evolution of the universe. It's my favorite subject. And I realized that the first scientific formula or scientific explanation how this universe came into being was written in the first text of the world, which is Rig Veda. It's called Nasadiya Sukta. And despite that, all the credit for science goes to Pandit Nehru, which is like 5,000-6,000 years later. So I wanted to impress upon the world, and I wanted to stage it at the center of the world stage at Times Square, and impress upon people that we created the first theorem of creation of the universe. The Big Bang theory did not even exist at that time. It came much, much later. And today, if you see, Anand, the greatest piece of, the greatest sense of satisfaction comes from the fact that the modern science is recognizing the same thing which is written in Nasadiya Sukta, how universe came into being.
Jay. Yes, so you've brought back the traditions and said we've got the knowledge. It's ancient wisdom that is also being shown.
From India. These are the same people who support CAA bills, and these are the same people who call Kashmir Files propaganda. Of this cabal in the film, if you are even 10% socio-politically aware, you know who these people are. But as far as the tweets and articles are concerned in the film, we have blurred the names, but when you read the language, you will know who has written it, because these are some of the most popular stuff. Yeah, but in international version, we have kept things the way they are.
Was it difficult to follow through after the Kashmir Files? Because like you said, it's a totally different emotion. And do you believe the audiences will respect this and will watch it as they watch the Kashmir Files? Are you looking at success?
You know me for quite some time. I don't care about all those things. See, these 500 crores, 1,000 crores. I mean, if I had money, I will pay it to social media people. They'll publish it. All these figures can be published by paying money to social media people and trade analysts, you know. So we are not in that race and game at all. We are not kings and of Bollywood, so we don't get an audience will really like it. It's the first time it's happening in India. It's a history in the making where a film.
And hopefully you'll come to the national capital, and then we would want you, and I personally invite you into the studio with the entire cast, and we'll try and get the scientists also at that time, and we'll do a special on the vaccine war. Vivek Agnihotri, congratulations and all the very best. With that, it's a wrap of this edition of The Right Stand. Zaka ready with brass tacks.
Good evening, welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. The India Alliance parties met in Delhi today for the first coordination committee meeting. They issued a joint statement in which they proposed that their first joint rally be held in Bhopal in the first week of October. They will not join issue with the BJP on this entire debate around Sanatan Dharma. And they've also decided to leave